Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at something, well, it's pretty unsettling, a true story.
It really is. We're using excerpts from Criminology Confessions, a killer's classroom game.
And it forces you to ask that question, right? Like, how well do you really know the people sitting next to you?
Exactly. Our goal here is to sort of unpack this incredible story. It's about a young man who unknowingly became friends with his sister's killer.
In a criminology class, of all places.
Yeah, sharing notes, talking theories.
Yeah.
The irony is just chilling. It's a real look into deception and how, I guess, normal evil can seem sometimes.
So let's set it up. The main figure is Logan Matthews. He's 21, studying criminal justice out in Oregon.
Right. And his motivation isn't just academics. His younger sister, Hannah, disappeared 2 years before this.
Vanished after work. No trace, no leads, just gone. It left this huge hole.
Absolutely. So Logan's in this class not just to learn, but he's looking for answers, maybe even driven by a need for revenge or just control.
He needs something, some kind of understanding.
And that fall, he enrolls in this specific class. Criminal profiling, understanding the mind of killers. Pretty heavy stuff.
And that's where he meets Ethan.
Ethan, yep. Described as, charming, but also quiet. A little awkward, maybe. Start talking, sharing notes. But the really fascinating or maybe disturbing part is the course itself. Logan's learning about offender types, psychopathy, the mask of sanity.
Well, sitting next to a guy who, well, spoiler alert.
Embodies it, yeah. The source material even suggests Ethan might have been, using the class discussions to get better at his own deception. It's grotesque.
Okay, so that's the setup, but then things start getting actively creepy, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Early on, Ethan starts showing this curiosity about Hannah's case.
But it's framed as just, interest. Innocent questions.
Seemingly. Asking Logan things like, what did it really feel like? To lose someone close like that.
Wow, that's personal.
Very. And then he asks what Logan would do if he ever found the person responsible for Hannah's disappearance.
Heavy question for a classmate you barely know. What did Logan say?
Logan, apparently just numb from it all, was brutally honest. Said, I'd kill him, no hesitation.
Okay. Direct.
And Ethan's reaction, he laughed. Barely laughed too hard for too long.
That is unsettling. Big red flag looking back.
Huge. But Logan got up in his own grief, just kind of brushed it off. Figured it was nerves, maybe social awkwardness.
Easy to rationalize when you're hurting, I guess.
But that laugh, as the source points out, it really screams manipulation now. And Ethan's curiosity, it didn't stop there. It got deeper.
How so?
He became almost fixated on Hannah's case, kept bringing it up, and started, subtly dropping details into their chats.
Details like?
Things only Logan, or maybe the police, would know. Things Logan had told Ethan in confidence, thinking he was just talking to a friend, a fellow student.
Oh, no.
From a profiling view, it's like Ethan's playing out some twisted fantasy, reliving it, maybe. He wasn't just a classmate, he was almost tutoring Logan on the psychology behind his own sister's case.
That's horrifying. The slow burn of realization for Logan must have been awful.
You can only imagine. The source describes Logan starting to notice things, like how Ethan's insights into the hypothetical killer's motives were just a bit too accurate.
Too specific.
Way too specific. Or how he'd casually mention a piece of evidence. There was this unique scratch mark on Hannah's car where they found it abandoned.
Okay.
That detail was never made public. Logan had only mentioned it to a couple of people he really trusted. And suddenly, Ethan brings it up.
Chills. That's not just coincidence.
Not at all. And that seems to be the real turning point, the moment it clicked for Logan.
What was the final straw?
They were working on a profiling assignment, and Ethan just casually remarks on how precise the initial blow must have been to that particular temple area.
Oh, wait, that was a detail about Hannah's actual attack.
A forensic detail, classified, known only to investigators. The specificity of that comment after all the other weirdness, it just shattered Logan's denial.
I can't even fathom that moment. Your classmate.
His mind must have been racing, right? Connecting all those dots, the weird questions, the two knowing comments, that laugh. It wasn't the police figuring it out. It was Ethan's own arrogance.
Using the class to kind of brag and relive it.
Seems like it. His hubris tripped him up.
The audacity is just staggering. Sitting there day after day, observing the family's pain up close.
It's the ultimate predator move, maybe. Finding some sick satisfaction in it.
So this really hammers home that core message, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. That quote from the source. Sometimes monsters don't wear masks. Sometimes They sit right next to you in class. It's terrifyingly real.
It's one thing to read about these things, another to hear about it happening like this, within the very place you'd study it.
He was operating inside the system designed to catch people like him, using Logan's grief almost as camouflage.
So, wrapping this up, thinking about the story, what does it really tell you, our listener, about maybe clues we miss, or about trusting that gut feeling?
Yeah, or just how mundane evil can appear on the surface. It blends in.
It does. It really does.
And maybe it pushes us to think, how can understanding deception, even in these really extreme situations, make you a bit sharper in your own life? Discerning truth from lies day to day.
That's a really good point. For you listening, what stands out? Was it the laugh? The forensic slip-up? What part of this just makes your skin crawl?
Definitely something to think about. How close the darkness can be sometimes.